Gisèle Pelicot knew there was something wrong with her. She went to doctors and specialists, telling them about the blackouts, the fatigue. Every one of them dismissed her. No diagnosis. She wouldn't learn the truth about her condition until the day her husband of 50 years was arrested. I'm Marina. I'm here with my best friend Laura, and this is Grim.
This episode is brought to you by Starbucks.
That is fire. Whoa, that's good.
This might be the drink of the summer.
Okay, I like this one too. I'm rocking with it. Okay.
Try it for yourself. Starbucks Refreshers Concentrates are coming home. Find them in the coffee aisle and make it yours.
Hello.
Hello, Gremlins. I would like you to know that I have essentially abducted Laura for this recording. We are set up precariously in her basement. She's rocking a baby while we're recording. And you know what? We're doing it.
Yeah, technically I was rocking a baby for a long time, but I'm literally physically rocking my baby right now. So if you hear grunting or any of those noises, it's not me.
Yeah. So Laura reminded me that we could do a baby break, and I was like, no, we can't. So here's Laura rocking her newborn while we record.
And that is how I greeted to the door. I said, yes, hello, it is me and my newborn that I just recently birthed.
So everyone say thank you, Laura.
No, it's fine. I'm happy to be. This is the easy part. The research is the hard part. So this is the fun part.
I finished that at 11:30 last night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just in time, Marina.
Listen, I figured out that's my ADHD. That's why something is not due until it is the actual deadline, because I need that panic to motivate me. And if I did it early, it's not done until the deadline anyways. I would just continue to obsess over it.
I will say that's why everything you do is high quality though.
Right?
Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so today we're talking about Gisèle Pelicot, and I'm going to call her Gisèle the whole episode because I'm super American and I'm going to forget, and it's just not going to go well. So just know it should be said with a lovely French accent that I'm not going to do.
Yes.
This was suggested to us by our gremlin, Scarlett M. Peterson. Yes, that's the handle. At Scarlett M. Peterson from Instagram. So thank you so much for the recommendation.
Thank you.
Amazing. And we don't know if she recommended it 5 years ago or like 1 year ago or like yesterday. It could be anything. But thank you so much, Scarlett M. Peterson.
Thank you, Scarlett.
For today's case, I relied mostly on the book that was written by Gisèle. It was called A Hymn to Life. Shame Has to Change Sides. And then I filled in additional details with articles from BBC, CBS, PBS, CNN, and AP. The whole alphabet.
I was going to say any other letters. Okay.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Oh, before we do, I have one comment, which is that, so part of the wonderful thing about being on this faux baby break, meaning Marina records with other people, is I get to listen as a gremlin, which is so fun. So I just listened to the last 2 episodes with Colby, and I was just listening to Charlie,
Brandt.
I don't remember, Brandt, and the question you guys posed about, like, would you marry your spouse or whatever, I was thinking about that with your intro.
Oh.
So I'm like, ooh. I think she would have regrets based on just the intro.
I think this one has a more clear-cut answer as to whether or not you would marry or stay married.
That being said, she wrote a book, so I'm feeling good.
Okay.
Goodish.
Good-ish. Okay, this one, this...
So, okay, retract that.
No, I was going to say nobody dies, but the jury's still out on that.
Gisèle didn't die. That part.
Gisèle's very much alive,
okay.
yes.
We like that.
All right. So let's talk about it.
Now we can get into it. Thank you.
So Gisèle Marie François Pelicot was born on December 7th, 1952 in Villingen, Germany, to Yves Guilloux, a French army officer, and Jean Prat. When Gisèle was 5 years old, her parents rented the second floor of a house that was only a few minutes away by foot from her grandparents' house. She knew at that time that her mother was very ill.
Oh, no.
When Gisèle was just 2.5 years old, her father had felt a lump on her mother's head when he was running his fingers through her hair.
Oh, that makes me really sad because what a sweet thing to be doing. Oh,
I know. It must have been like so, like, just intimate and like a normal thing.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. The doctor said it was a tumor and they weren't sure she'd make it more than 6 months.
It's a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Oh, wrong way. Yeah.
It's okay. I knew what you meant.
But it was a tumor.
I got the reference. It was a tumor.
Oh, that's so sad though.
I know. Gisèle remembered her mother's trips to the hospital where her mother would be brought back pale and thin. She remembers a time when her mother slipped and fell on the way to school, and Gisèle could see a circle of red, burnt skin hidden under her long hair. It was from the radiation.
I was just going to say that, yep.
As her illness progressed, Gisèle's grandmother began coming over every day to take care of the kids and her mother. Gisèle's mother never cried in front of the kids, and Gisèle remembered hearing her scream just once, which is unbelievable because her mother's cancer had made its way into her bones, so even the lightest touch caused her excruciating pain.
That's when I'm reminded that my troubles they're nothing.
I just said to someone today, everybody needs a little dose of perspective every single day. It just humbles you and just makes you appreciate your life.
One of the most profound quotes I heard is you can have a ton of problems, and then once you have a health problem, you have one problem.
Correct.
And I butchered the way that it's said, but yeah, it's so true, because then that's all that matters.
Yeah. And then there's something else. It's like you can make time for your health now, but if you say there's no time, it'll make time for you whether you like it or not.
I say that to my husband all the time because he just works through like being sick and all that. I'm like, oh, your body's going to make your choice for you.
It will.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of our soapboxing.
I know. In the very end, Gisèle's mother's bed was brought into the kitchen near the window so that she could see outside. Gisèle was 9 years old when her mother died. Her brother and father never really covered, but Gisèle powered through her grief. She chose happiness, and she considered herself a steadfast tin soldier of joy.
It's breaking my heart. And we're like literally on the first page.
I know. And she chose joy in spite of her surroundings. She grew up with limited schooling, a grief-stricken father, and a cruel stepmother who, by Gisèle's own account, never uttered a single kind word.
Oh, nice.
Gisèle's father married a widow named Marie Josephine, who could be cruel. She doesn't think he married for love. I think it was just to bring another female presence into the house.
Deal with the kids too. Yeah.
She hid food in the house because she didn't want the kids to come home from school for lunch. She'd shut off the hot water when they were in the middle of a shower, saying that they were wasting water.
Jeez.
Yeah. Despite all of this, Gisèle's glass remained half full. In July 1971, 18-year-old Gisèle was staying with her aunt Andre, who had just lost her husband. As soon as she arrived, her aunt started telling her about Dominique Pelicot, a young man she had recently employed to help her with her business. Her aunt said he was out on a job, but she would meet him later. But that afternoon, Gisèle was stung between the eyes by a wasp. When Dominique walked into her aunt's kitchen, Gisèle's eyes were so swollen that she could barely see.
Oh my God.
But Gisèle was immediately smitten, thinking that he looked like the pop star Julian Clerc.
From what she could see.
Yes. And that reference doesn't land for me, but I assume it's meaningful to some people. She knew it was love at first sight, at least for her. Dominique was shy and blushed a lot. Gisèle had never been in love before, but she felt that meeting him at her aunt's house next door to where her mother took her last breath, she took it as a sign from her mother.
Oh, geez.
They were young and in love. They each lost their virginity to the other in May 1972. Gisèle believed that her and Dominique could leave their damaged families and all the suffering behind them and live happily ever after.
Oh, and if you're enjoying Grimm.
And that's the end of the story. Gisèle and Dominique were married on April 14th, 1973. Dominique needed the escape from his family. He was the youngest, so when his siblings were old enough, they left home, and they left Dominique with his parents in a home that was on the grounds of a local shelter that was home to those displaced in society.
Oh.
Yeah, like veterans coming out of prison, people with substance abuse issues, people with mental health struggles, basically like the outcasts of society. So he wasn't surrounded by the most stable adults, to say the least.
I was going to say, like, there's a need for places like that, of course, but you don't need to have children typically being raised in those conditions if you can help it.
Correct. Dominique spent a lot of time by himself as a child, ostracized by his classmates for stealing chocolate that he didn't actually steal. Oh. It was like the pharmacist's son that stole it, but they blamed him and ostracized him for it.
That's not very... Kids suck.
I know.
Man.
Kids are really mean. I'm not looking forward to that phase of parenting.
I'm particularly afraid of middle schoolers, personally.
Kids are savage.
Petrified of them.
They're savage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's that middle ground where, like, they're not old enough for, like, serious, not adult consequences, but, 16-year-olds might face something different. Middle schoolers, no filter, no judgment.
Lots of judgment from them.
Oh, well, yeah, but judging, but I mean, like, you knew what I meant.
I got you.
Football was his escape. He'd come home and play football for hours with imaginary friends. Oh, I know. But Dominique's biggest challenge was his father, who punished him based on rules and whims that Dominique could never figure out. When he was 14, Dominique told his mother to leave his father, which he continued to suggest to no avail. On one occasion, the family took a camping trip. Dominique went to surprise his parents and found his mother on her knees with her hands tied behind her back, being forced to give Dominique's father oral sex.
That is traumatizing, to say the least.
And Dominique's father may have also been abusing a little girl with learning disabilities. Her name was Nicole, and the family had taken her in as a foster child to help make ends meet because she was a ward of the state, so they were getting money in. His father was not a nice guy.
No, I'll say. And how awful for Dominique to have this come from all angles. It must have had such a hit to his self-worth.
Yes, 100%. When Dominique decided to leave his parents to join Gisèle in Paris, he hid a note for his father in his shaving kit because he was too scared to face him.
Jeez.
He'd been handing over all of his salary to his family, so he knew his father would miss that income.
I was wondering why. I thought he might just be mad on principle, like control or something, but that would make him really mad, I think.
Also the control, but yeah, I think losing that income, otherwise he wouldn't give a shit, losing a mouth to feed.
Yep, that's true.
Unfortunately, because he was only 19, his father controlled that account, and I'm assuming 21. You know, remember there was like that weird phase where it was like 18 and then it was like 21.
Well, they're
and
also
then it was
not
like
in
18.
America, right?
Correct.
So
that's
I have
correct.
no idea what the rules are.
I don't either, and I didn't look it up. Shame.
God damn it, Marina.
Shame on me. But I can confirm that because he was 19, his father also had control of that bank account.
Okay, the important part, not the history of the age of consent in Europe. Okay,
that is correct. Got it. And once the father learned of their plan to flee, he emptied out the bank account.
Oh, no. Mm-hmm. So it was about, as you said, about money.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Gisèle and Dominique did nothing about it. They were just happy to be free.
Oh.
After marrying, the couple had 3 children. David came first, then Caroline in January 1979, and then Florian in October 1986. With Dominique working as an electrician and a real estate agent, and Gisèle was rising through the ranks at the French National Electric Company. Was she earning francs? No, that's Germany. Just kidding.
No, it used to be, right? It was francs.
In
France before the euro.
Okay,
right?
Thank you.
Now I'm really doubting myself, but I'm pretty sure only because I know about it and I studied a lot about France in school, not Germany. So
okay.
But
Makes
maybe
sense.
they were multiple.
I'm going to take it.
Countries.
And all our European listeners are like, you guys are dumb Americans. And we're like, yes, we are.
I'm so sorry.
100%.
Our country's way bigger.
Yes.
Have you seen those TikTok memes where like people from like Great Britain or something will compare different parts of their country to ours? And they're like, oh, that's why you don't know that part. Because you have like 15 of these. So
yes,
that's what I watch to make myself feel better.
Okay. All right.
We'll go with that. But we've already said we are not good with geography.
No.
Or in information.
Or like European
knowledge.
Culture, history.
Like knowledge at all.
Yeah, government, anything, really.
The irony is like we're pretty smart in real life. And for some reason we get on here and we're like, duh, how do you spell?
I'm like, what's that word for the thing?
Like, I don't know what happens.
Daily?
Maybe the headphones squeeze our heads.
Yeah, they take our brain juices out.
Anyway, would you like to return to your case?
I would.
Okay.
So Gisèle was the one with the stable career between them. She was the dependable one and the one who made things work. In the bedroom, as the years went by, Dominique began to be more demanding sexually. He requested anal, but Gisèle adamantly refused. He wanted to try things he'd seen in porn magazines. Gisèle wasn't into that, but she wasn't a prude either. When she returned to work after having Florian, she ended up having an affair with a coworker who, get this, gave her first orgasm.
Oh.
That
Oh,
makes
no
me
wonder
sad.
she wasn't into it.
I know, that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Dominique confronted Gisèle about it, and she ultimately admitted to it. The coworker wanted to continue the affair, but Gisèle felt too guilty. Dominique took some time on his own after the affair, and he didn't have an affair of his own, but while he was living alone, he brought a woman named Michelle into his home for a while. Gisèle let him process. She accepted that he was happy with another woman. She didn't want any drama. She wasn't happy about it, but she was happy that he was happy, and she was like, let's just let it ride.
Yep.
After 6 months, Dominique asked Gisèle how she was feeling. They both agreed they were ready to get back together, so Dominique moved back in.
That like actually seems
functional.
I'm not sure if the healthiest, but like it seems kind of functional is maybe a good word.
I do think, and I was thinking about. Unfortunately, I know how this case ends, so I hate to give it this analysis. But I was thinking it is actually very functional for them to have been open and honest with each
Yeah.
other, especially because they got together when they were so young.
Right.
So it's like, and they lost their virginity to each other.
Yeah.
So it's like they both strayed a little bit, and then they came back and
and if it
built
works,
this life together.
I think what's most important is did it work for both of them? It doesn't matter if it works for us. If it works
Right.
for both of them, then it's fine.
Yeah.
But
Who are we to judge?
sounds like it didn't work forever.
Something happened.
Okay.
For much of their marriage, Gisèle's life revolved around her family and her work. Dominique ventured into various business enterprises, many of which failed. They had their share of financial struggles. In 1999, Dominique and Gisèle had to get divorced on paper to avoid Gisèle's salary being seized to cover Dominique's debts for all his business ventures.
Oops. Smart, though.
Yeah, and they went into court and they were like, this is a real divorce and we really will miss each other a lot. And then they went home together to their married life.
They should have pointed to the affairs.
Yeah.
That would have been good use, at least.
They might have.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were instances in the family where furniture was repossessed, but the house was always full of love, and Gisèle was always positive about it.
I bet.
In 2004, Dominique went to the hospital with appendicitis. During the surgery, the doctors discovered that Dominique had lymphoma.
Oh.
The doctors took out the affected lymph nodes, and he recovered well. Another challenge that Gisèle and Dominique got through together.
I'm completely forgetting, as usual, that this is going to take a bad turn. I'm like, oh, that's so good.
It's wonderful
But
for
it
them.
seems like maybe it would have been better if
it had ended
Yep.
long ago. Yeah. They'd gotten through unemployment, bankruptcies, infidelity, illness. And this was during a time when they were still formally divorced. All these things were coming up.
Sure.
They decided to get married again. Because of Gisèle's lucky number 7, they remarried on 7707.
Oh, that's great, though.
Yeah, I love that. In fact, my sister was married on 8808.
I like that.
They eventually retired together, as couples do. They were both 60 when they moved to Mazan on March 1st, 2013. Mazan was in the Provence region of southern France. It's a small, pretty place with vineyards and lavender fields.
I want to go.
Yeah, we don't have any of that around here.
Not both of them.
No. Gisèle was looking forward to walking her French bulldog, Lancôme, in the countryside.
I love that.
I love his name. For a while, the retirement was everything they'd imagined. Mazan was quiet and warm. In the summers, the house filled up with kids and grandkids. After 50 years and 3 children and all the businesses that had come and gone, this was supposed to be the easy part, the reward.
I feel like I'm waiting for someone to hit me across the face. That's how I feel. I'm like squinting. I'm waiting.
And then Gisèle started feeling wrong. The first time she took note of a strange memory lapse was September 2013. She had a new pair of pants and saw what looked like splashes of bleach on them. Gisèle couldn't remember the day, what she did, or how it could have happened. She joked to Dominique, "You haven't been drugging me, have you?"
Oh my God.
Dominique immediately burst into tears and said, "How could you possibly say such a thing?" Dominique was hurt Gisèle could even joke about such a thing. It made sense for him to be upset with Gisèle's health deteriorating. She was his partner in his life. Gisèle became tired all the time. Not regular tired, but a heavy, sinking exhaustion she couldn't sleep off. When her grandchildren slept over, they were surprised to find Gisèle was still in bed at noon.
Whoa.
Dominique would tell them that grandma just needed rest.
Oh no.
And then there were the gaps. Whole stretches of time she couldn't account for. She'd wake up groggy and confused, foggy in a way that scared her. No memory of the night before, no explanation for why she felt the way that she did. She was a woman in her 60s watching her own mind and body come apart, so she went to the doctors.
Yeah, well, and I'll say I'm glad that she went to the doctors, and I also will start by saying 60 is not super old.
No.
Right? I know I had people all up in arms when I accidentally called
Right.
What's her face? Oh, now I can't remember.
Oh, the grandma?
Yeah.
Oh, but that was hilarious because you were calling her grandma. She was like, she was 57.
That's what people freaking called her. I think
Yes.
she was like 52. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll start with 60 is not old. However, memory loss happening at that age and like deteriorating
Alzheimer's,
health
dementia,
and all that, right,
yep.
is much more likely.
Right.
So it's not as suspicious as like say 20 years old or something like that.
Correct.
So I'm glad to hear that she went to the doctors, but I'm still afraid that's what they're going to write it off as.
I'm 37 and I panic that I'm starting with dementia. So I can totally see how
seriously.
she was like really upset. So she went to the doctor. She told them about the blackouts. She would have to pinch the top of her hand to avoid succumbing to the darkness, which I remember doing that in like history class in high school, trying not to fall asleep. But that's a little bit different.
Yes.
It's a little bit different.
Why? We must have just needed so much sleep in high school because I get way less sleep, literally right now with the baby, but like in general, and I'm fine. We must have just needed a ton of sleep when you're like growing and learning a bunch, because I remember being so tired. So tired.
Pretty sure that's scientific that kids need more sleep.
Yeah. I mean, even
adults.
high school though, I guess.
know.
Yeah. I guess you're still growing.
Although I remember seeing something that they were considering having high schoolers go to school later and younger kids going to school earlier. Because right now it's the opposite. And they were saying younger kids actually get up earlier and high schoolers need more sleep.
Yes.
And so that
makes
made
a ton
sense
of
to
sense.
me.
Yeah. Okay.
They didn't do it.
Yeah.
Nobody changes. Like the only reason that some things changed substantially over COVID was because they had to. Otherwise, people are like, that'd be a great idea, but let's never institute it. Okay?
Money.
Everything
comes back to money.
Money. Yes, correct. Okay, so she told them about memory loss, exhaustion. She started to wonder if she was developing Alzheimer's, but she was most scared that she was getting sick the way her mother had.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
She went to a neurologist and got scans to rule out brain cancer, but Gisèle wasn't convinced by the negative results. Like she was really having a hard time.
Well, and I mean, the symptoms are very real.
Correct.
Like you're not just like randomly like, I'm afraid I'm going to get this, which would still be legitimate.
Right.
But she's experiencing serious symptoms. So,
Yes.
Oh, poor thing.
Yep. And through all of it, Dominique was right there by her side. He drove her to her appointments. He sat in the waiting rooms. He held her hand and told her they'd figure it out. And when a specialist was suggested, he was the one who encouraged her to go. To everyone watching, including Gisèle, he was the devoted husband doing everything he could for his ailing wife.
Yeah, here's your water. Here's your tea. Make sure you eat this and finish this. I'll get it for you. I'm just guessing.
There were other symptoms too, ones that were harder to talk about. Gynecological problems, pelvic pain, bruising she couldn't explain and couldn't remember getting. She told Dominique she had a strange liquid leaking from her vagina. She would wake up wet as if she had peed in the middle of the night. She brought those concerns to her doctors as well, and mostly she was sent home. No one found anything. There was no diagnosis because nothing they were testing for was what was actually wrong.
Of course. And here I am sitting thinking what poison would cause this, but I don't know a lot about poisons.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I'll just listen.
Okay. So Gisèle kept going home with no answers, and this went on for years.
Yikes.
In September 2020, everything cracked open, but not in the way that you'd expect. Gisèle had been staying with her daughter, Caroline, and her husband, Pierre, at the time. She got a phone call from Dominique where he sounded unusually agitated, saying that he'd lost his phone and needed to activate a new one. Gisèle hadn't thought much of it, but when he picked her up at the station a few days later, he looked ill, and when they got home, he burst into tears. Gisèle was actually somewhat relieved to hear why Dominique was so upset because she initially thought his cancer had returned and that she might lose him.
Oh. She's so sweet.
I know.
I mean, and fair. Like, she has no reason to doubt anything.
Correct.
Oh, jeez.
Dominique confessed that he was caught in a supermarket in Carpentras using his phone to film up women's skirts. A security guard spotted him, the police were called, and Dominique was arrested.
Oops.
Gisèle was upset, of course, and couldn't bear thinking of Dominique as an offender. By the way, I know that I keep saying Dominique and then Dominique. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah. I'm sure both of them are wrong.
Correct. They're like, it's actually Dominique.
Door number 3.
Yes. But she was more afraid of him dying. So she was genuinely relieved that he was okay health-wise.
Yeah.
So this was just something that her and Dominique would need to work through. Gisèle told him that she'd keep this between them, but that he had to apologize to the women he did it to, and that he had to see a therapist. And if it happened again, Gisèle promised she would leave him.
I like that.
In mid-October, Gisèle was staying with her son David to help with his children. She got a call from Deputy Sergeant Perret. He asked if she knew they interviewed Dominique a few weeks ago. She told him that she knew everything and that she'd lived with Dominique for 50 years and he'd never let her down. Like, she was proud that she could say she knew about what he did, that he was
because
open
he had
and
admitted
honest.
it, right?
The deputy asked that her and Dominique come into the station on November 2nd to talk to them. When the day came, Gisèle made breakfast and picked out Dominique's clothes. It was the height of the pandemic during a lockdown, so Gisèle suggested they go for a walk later in the afternoon when they were done, because it was a nice day and they had nothing else to do. When they arrived at the police station, Dominique was taken to a room first while Gisèle stayed in the waiting area. A short while later, Deputy Perret came and brought her to his office. Gisèle immediately started apologizing for her husband's behavior in the supermarket, but he started out asking her a lot of background questions about herself. Her date of birth, her maiden name, parents' names, how she met Dominique. She said it was love at first sight and they were still together because he's such a good guy.
I typically have a decent idea of where cases are going, and I wish you could see, well, you can see my face, but I wish the gremlins could see my face. I am studying Marina right now.
Hanging on every word.
I am also hunched over holding, precariously holding the baby and the microphone, so that may have something to do with it, but I am literally on the edge of my seat.
Laura's about to find out what's about to happen. The deputy asked if she liked to entertain and asked what she did at night. He asked questions about what time she went to bed, whether she went to bed at the same time as Dominique, whether she took naps in the afternoon. And then he asked her whether she was into swinging. She was disgusted by that question. She said she'd never engage in behavior like that because she couldn't imagine letting someone else ever touch her in that way. There needs to be love with sex. The deputy asked her if she thought she knew Dominique well and if she thought he would never hide anything from her. Gisèle said yes.
Yeah, of course she did, but I don't like it. I don't like where this is headed.
The deputy told her gently that he was going to show her some photos and videos that she was not going to want to see.
Oh, no.
Given the nature of his upskirting crimes, the police had seized Dominique's phone, his laptop, and his hard drives, which is why he called her upset that he didn't have a phone and needed to activate a new one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before getting to the videos, the deputy told Gisèle that Dominique had been taken into custody for aggravated rape and for administering toxic substances. Gisèle burst into tears. The deputy then showed her a photograph. It was a woman laid out on her side, unconscious, dressed in lingerie. There was a large man behind the woman penetrating her. He told her, "That's you in the photograph." She said,
"What?"
Uh-huh. She said, "No, that's not me." Gisèle's mind simply refused it.
I have full body chills right now. I did not see that coming, even though I should have, given everything we just talked about. But I was expecting it to be somebody else based on, oh my God.
Nope. The woman in the photo didn't look like her. The face was slack and wrong. The mouth hanging limp and lifeless. The body arranged and posed like a thing rather than a person. He showed her more. The same woman with a tattooed man behind her. She didn't recognize the woman and she didn't recognize the men. And for a moment, her brain just stopped. She couldn't process it.
I didn't even process that. I was assuming she just didn't recognize Dominique, but you're saying it wasn't him.
It was not Dominique. No, these were random men that she had never met before.
Oh my God.
And she thought at first, that the photos were photoshopped.
Yeah.
And that someone was trying to get Dominique in trouble.
Yeah, because you're just, how could you possibly, I can't comprehend that, let alone if that were you looking at yourself.
Correct.
In such an awful state. Oh my God.
I can't imagine. Nope.
No.
But it was her. And there were photos.
Oh my God.
Many, many more. The deputy informed her that there were at least 53 men who had come to her house and raped her while she was unconscious.
Oh my God. My hand is over my mouth, which is not productive for a podcast, but oh my God.
The deputy got Gisèle some water and brought in a psychologist to talk to her, but Gisèle was far away in her head, pretending none of this was happening.
Yeah, you have to be in shock. What else can you do?
Can't.
Your brain is just absolutely not. Yeah. How could you possibly consume that information?
And imagine without the photos, you just never believe it.
Oh,
never.
absolutely.
You'd be like, there is 0% chance that happened.
Oh my God. I told you I had no idea where this was going.
Yep. So here's what the investigation had uncovered. For nearly a decade, Dominique had been drugging her. He'd been crushing sedatives, including sleeping pills and anti-anxiety medication, into her food and drinks, dosing her until she was unconscious, so far under that she could be moved and posed and assaulted without waking up.
Oh my God.
Those blackouts she reported to the doctors, the exhaustion, the fog, the pelvic pain and bruising. She came to find out that she woke up wet in the morning.
Oh my God.
Because, so you would think semen, but also when the men were done, Dominique would change Gisèle out of the lingerie. He would use a vaginal douche on her, and then he'd put her pajamas back on.
Oh my God. I did not even connect that. I didn't connect. I was thinking of the bruises, forgot about the pelvic pain because I was thinking bone stuff deteriorating or whatever.
Yep.
And the liquid.
But
that is so violating, does not even begin to cover.
No.
Oh my God.
And can you imagine? You would genuinely think you're going insane.
Yes.
Insane. Because you'd be like, I'm not peeing
Right.
Like, what is this?
I'd literally be like, is that spinal fluid?
Right.
What
yeah.
do you
no,
know,
literally. Yeah. You'd be like,
why? Good thing good thing for him that he flushed it out, because when she went to the doctor, like, what if she had something tested? It wouldn't. Wow.
yeah, they didn't test her for anything
of course
like
not.
that.
Of course.
No, because why would you even think?
My God.
And when Gisèle really thought back, there it all was. She even recalled that as far back as 2011, Dominique had handed her a cocktail. When she said it tasted funny, he immediately poured it out. So this has been going on for longer than Gisèle could even comprehend.
I think this could cause a genuine psychotic break in someone to receive this information.
And she didn't break.
Which is insane, because literally not only is it physically and like we said, violating and like that whole, the assault side, but then beyond that, having your reality for the past decade plus just completely shattered.
Well, and she was
I feel
married to him for 50 years.
Right. And like, you just, what an insane experience to go through, to say the absolute least.
Yeah, no, I genuinely can't imagine that, because you think of like women finding out about husbands' affairs and it's like, oh, I thought I knew him.
Right.
This is not even next level. This is 87 levels above.
Yes.
It.
Yes.
Like, it's unfathomable.
Oh, wow.
It's unfathomable.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And Dominique hadn't done it alone. He'd gone looking for help.
Of course.
On a French website called Coco, Dominique had used a chat room called Without Her Knowledge.
Ew.
To find dozens of strangers to come to his house. He would message men, describe what was on offer, and arrange for them to come to the house while Gisèle lay drugged and unaware.
You're probably going to tell me, but was he getting paid for this, or he just enjoyed it?
I actually don't know if he was getting paid. He definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, no,
he definitely enjoyed
I gathered that part, but I just wonder, like, I don't know.
Given that he had so many failed business ventures, I'm guessing that it was sort of like a sex work sort of situation.
That's kind of what I was
he
thinking
was
too.
Her pimp.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah.
Jeez.
No consent. Zero.
No.
He coached them on the best ways to proceed and stay quiet so she wouldn't wake up. He sometimes got on video calls beforehand and turned the camera to show them his sleeping wife, showing off what was being offered. And Dominique documented all of it.
Fucking moron.
Police found more than 20,000 photographs and videos on his devices.
20,000?
Yeah.
Okay, I say that, except I do indeed have 14,000 pictures. That's not an exaggeration on my phone currently, just currently.
I think I have 22,000.
Yeah, so it is a lot, but also I get it. But
he's paying for extra cloud storage for that. I mean, come on at this point.
Yeah. Okay. No, but still, that's insane.
Yes. And he had them sorted and labeled and filed away in folders that he had named himself.
So fucking sick.
So good, so good, so good.
New markdowns up to 70% off are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Stock up and save big on shoes, tops, dresses, accessories, and more must-haves for summer. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Plan B is a backup birth control option that's there for you when things don't go according to plan. It specifically works after unprotected sex and before pregnancy occurs by temporarily delaying ovulation. Plan B is available nationwide at all major retailers and through delivery apps like DoorDash. No ID, prescription, or age requirement. It's the #1 OBGYN recommended brand of emergency contraception, and it won't impact your future fertility. That's freedom to be. Use as directed.
As if this wasn't enough, Gisèle found out even more about her husband's double life. The upskirting supermarket arrest in 2020 wasn't even his first.
Of course not.
Back in 2010, he'd been caught doing the same thing and quietly paid a fine, and Gisèle had never known.
I mean, why would he tell her at that point? But still, of course.
It was all too much. The police drove Gisèle home and said that she shouldn't be alone tonight.
No kidding.
Yeah. When she arrived home, she saw that police had been there to carry out a search and they'd left the house in shambles.
I'm sure.
Gisèle had the task of telling her family what their father had done.
Oh my God.
She called Caroline's husband, Pierre, and told him she needed help delivering the news. She had said that Caroline was like her most unexpected child in terms of how she would take it.
Right.
He said that he would call back when Caroline got home, and then he sat next to her as Gisèle delivered the news. Caroline just began screaming, like absolute anguish, the cries of a wounded animal.
Oh, man.
Gisèle then had to call her son David, who listened without reacting. Before he quickly got off the phone with her, he had to run to the bathroom to throw up.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
The youngest son, Florian, was calm and composed. He took it the best. But none of them slept that night.
Of course not.
Gisèle said every 15 minutes, one of the kids would call her to check on her and to talk about what was happening. They were all just trying to process.
Yeah.
And they were going back through old memories to be like, is this, like, was this genuine? Was this real? Like, how did we not know? Like, how are there no signs? How did we not notice this?
And like, that would be bad. It's wild that they had to deal with both caring for and worrying about their mother while also processing that this was their father that did it.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, it would be bad enough if it were some stranger, but now you're grieving in a way that's maybe not the right word, but you're processing with both of your parents in very, very complicated ways.
Yeah. Your whole world is flipped upside down. The next day, Gisèle met the children at the police station. While at the police station, Detective Perrette took Caroline aside and showed her 2 photographs of a woman asleep. It was Caroline. And it sent her into a crazed state, wondering if her father had done something to her too. Yeah. He'd hidden a camera in their spare bedroom and recorded Caroline getting changed. He had also, this is so fucked up. I'm like, it's like a different level of fucked up. He had taken photos of Gisèle in her lingerie, and then he photoshopped pictures of Caroline in lingerie and then put them next to each other and posted those on the internet.
Sick fuck.
Like very disturbed. Police also found photos of Dominique's 2 daughters-in-law in the mix. He'd taken photos of them in the shower with a tiny pen camera that was hidden in a toiletry bag.
Disgusting.
Yep. Absolute like straight up perv.
Yes.
The perviest of pervs. Yep.
Yeah.
Caroline ended up calling a psychologist who hinted that she was likely also raped by her father.
Yeah.
Caroline collapsed. She completely lost it. They were able to find a local doctor who prescribed her a tranquilizer because the other doctors they talked to were like, you need to bring her to the hospital.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. As the days passed, she didn't have an easier time processing the information, and she ended up in the psych unit at one point.
Completely understandable.
Even if her pictures weren't in there, processing that this happened to your mom, like with your dad, like you're not just gonna
get over it.
Digest
it's literally blown up your whole world.
Correct. The kids went to Gisèle's house to help her pack some things. Caroline began smashing items, which must have been at least a little therapeutic for her.
Yes. And Dominique's in jail at this point, or like being held.
He's in custody.
Something. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Gisèle kind of felt bad that Caroline was destroying things, and she was like, what are you keeping from this life? Like, you can't keep anything.
Right.
Like, you cannot
But then
keep
that's
anything.
upsetting in itself.
I know, because that's your home and your things.
Oh my God. I think there's something about that level. I keep coming back to the word violation, because that's what it feels like in both, again, obviously physically, but then in your whole life, you're violating her life, and now she can't have her home, and she can't have her things, and her poor children are dealing with this, and it just it touches every single thing. Insidious.
Yes. And in your home, that's your safe space. That's why people who have home invasions have such a hard time, because that's, now there's nowhere to go for you to feel safe and secure. Yep. There was actually a painting in the hallway. It was the backside of a nude woman that Dominique had painted. I'm thinking like artistic silhouette of the back of a woman. Caroline had loved it and she wanted to inherit it, but she ripped it off the wall. She was so upset. And when she did, she saw that her father had signed it on the back, and he labeled it coercion.
What is wrong with this man? I guess thinking about like if that's more of a present thing in your life, like sex and all that, maybe it wouldn't be as disturbing. But like if my dad were like drawing nude women and putting them up in my house, I would find that very weird to begin with.
I think I'd be okay with it if my dad was like an artist.
Oh yeah,
but I'd be like, can you pick a different subject?
That's
I don't know.
I mean.
There's something about like thinking about parents having sex. I think is like the general overarching.
Yeah, I just don't need that. And then this is taking that to, again, a million levels past.
Yeah. Not good. So she didn't take the painting. She destroyed it.
Yeah, good.
If you could imagine. In addition to processing things mentally, Gisèle also had to deal with the physical fallout. She had to go get a blood test to check for HIV, syphilis, herpes, other STDs. Despite one of the men having HIV and raping her without a condom, Gisèle did not contract the virus.
Oh, thank
God.
Holy shit.
Yeah. She did contract other STDs and was given very strong antibiotics.
Good.
She had to go through a forensic evaluation, which included a gynecological exam. She didn't have tearing because Dominique had given her both tranquilizers and a muscle relaxant so that she was loose at the time of the assault.
It's also shocking she didn't get pregnant at all.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean,
she must have gone through menopause at that point, right?
Oh, true. I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, just so much risk that she didn't. I mean, again, plenty she didn't consent to, but the risk she didn't consent to either.
I know. And no, there was no protections at all. Like he told them not to wear condoms.
Gross.
Yeah. When asked how Gisèle felt about Dominique now, she said, "He disgusts me. I feel dirty, soiled, and betrayed."
Yep.
In October 2022, Gisèle had more to digest.
No.
She received a call that there was an attempted rape and murder from the 1990s, and Dominique was the prime suspect in both of those cases. She was asked to come in for questioning. In December 1991, a 23-year-old estate agent named Sophie Narm was drugged with ether, raped, strangled, and stabbed to death while showing an apartment in Paris. In May 1999, a young woman was also attacked while showing an apartment, but she managed to fight the man off and hide in her wardrobe, and he left. The woman identified Dominique from photos she saw in the newspaper.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Dominique eventually confessed to that latter crime, but that was after his DNA was confirmed.
Sure.
But he was steadfast that he had nothing to do with the earlier rape and murder.
Well, yeah, because that added murder to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
There wasn't enough to charge him, and the DNA samples that had been taken from Sophie Narm were lost.
Come on.
Unfortunately, I know. But now Gisèle had to look back and think, was I married to a murderer?
Yeah.
And the police were like, these are way too similar for them not to be connected.
Wow. If he had just confessed, would that have been strong enough, you think? I mean, I guess you need to know all the details of the case.
Yeah.
Oh, can I take us on a very, very left, well, I'm going right, but a very left turn?
Sure.
This is the trouble with listening as a gremlin. I didn't get to ask all my questions that I had.
Oh my gosh.
It's a question I had from, it was the Charlie case, because they said they charged him, it was one of the older unsolved murders, and they charged him with it. And I was thinking, does he not, you can just charge him, how do you say that, posthumously? You know what I'm saying? After he dies. I only ever read that word and I don't say it out loud.
It is posthumously, but they charged Charlie after he died?
I think so.
Oh no, they closed the case out.
Yes.
And the police, they didn't actually charge him in court. The police just closed the file out as solved.
Okay.
With Charlie having been the offender.
Okay. The reason I was asking that, and it's not a spoiler for the case. If you didn't listen to that episode, I'm not ruining anything. You'll know. You'll know he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, would a dead person still need to have due process?
They don't pursue it.
Interesting. Okay.
And
you didn't expect to get law questions.
And the answer is yes, because remember the cases we've talked about where they're convicted of murder and then they appeal and then they die while the appeal is pending.
Sure.
And the charge gets erased because it was never confirmed. I forget
Oh,
what
'cause
case
they
you
didn't
just
get-
told me about.
Yes, that's
and that
right.
happened with Aaron Hernandez.
You're right, because they didn't have the opportunity to appeal.
Yes.
And therefore, okay.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, that was bothering me from that case. So thanks.
Wow.
Appreciate
Well,
you.
yeah, I
Okay.
got your
It's
back.
really hard to be a gremlin.
I would have
to leave a
Everybody's
Spotify
like-
comment.
Everybody's like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, back to this case.
Yes. So Gisèle filed for divorce.
Yeah.
It was finalized in August 2024, just before the trial began. Her lawyers wanted to pursue a large financial settlement, but Gisèle refused. She didn't want money, and Dominique didn't have any.
Yeah. No, all the money was hers.
Correct.
She was paying off his debts.
Yep. So she settled for a symbolic payment of €1. The media was everywhere.
Oh.
There were blurred photos of Dominique and leaked details from her interviews, and for now, she was known only as Marie P. She took refuge at her daughter Caroline's holiday home, though she would come to learn it was the same house where during an earlier visit to look after their grandson, a stranger had raped her in Caroline and Pierre's bedroom.
Stop.
Yeah, so this was not limited to their house. Dominique traveled with this plan.
Awful.
Yep. She'd been so far under at that time that she didn't come to until they were back home in Mazan. And there was also a video of Dominique raping her in the front seat of the car on their drive home.
Stop. He's disgusting.
As all of this landed on her, people began murmuring that she must somehow have been complicit. How could she have not known that this was happening for 10 years?
You want those drugs? You want them?
Yeah, really.
Like, come on, people.
Gisèle was appalled.
Yeah.
Through it all, Gisèle leaned on her friends, including a woman named Pascal. I wanted to include this because she was an old colleague that Gisèle had cut off back in 1999 because she had suggested that Dominique wasn't the man that Gisèle thought he was and that she should stop putting him on a pedestal. Now, Pascal didn't know any of this,
of course,
but she did tell her after the fact that Dominique had been a creep and he'd been hitting on her, and she was like, I just don't think that he is who you think he is.
Wow.
But Gisèle was so loyal to him, she's like, how dare you think that I like misjudged my husband? Who wouldn't do that, right?
I know. Why would you ever think that?
Right.
If you had no evidence of it.
Yep. In the lead up to trial, the magistrate walked her through things about Dominique she had never known, that he'd told the men not to use condoms, that he'd told them where she would be during the day so that they could go and get a look at her in the daylight.
Gross. And also, we're focused on Dominique, but these men are also fucked
Oh,
up.
yeah.
And fuck them too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Just had to say that.
Yep. That he'd raped the drugged wife of one of the other men. Yep. Basically, like he had a protege.
They traded.
Yeah, he had a protege. And that as a boy of 13, Dominique had been made to take part in a gang rape at a building site. She asked if Gisèle had known about that, and she said that he had just told her that there was an initiation ritual that had frightened him. He just mentioned it and never explained it further.
Yeah, you're not connecting those dots.
Nope. Her lawyers had her read the full 400-page writ of indictment.
Yikes.
She read about assaults on her birthday, on New Year's Eve.
Stop.
She had to keep stopping to catch her breath.
Where is Daredevil?
I'm right here. Don't miss the return of Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again.
So what's next?
I feel liberated.
We're gonna take this city back.
Over medicated.
In an all-new season, now streaming only on Disney+.
They're hunting us. It's time we started hunting them.
I can work with that.
This should be tons of fun.
Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
Capture your favorite summer feeling with Pandora Jewelry. Discover a collection inspired by the sunshine, freedom, and moments that make the season unforgettable. From sun-kissed metals to personalized pieces, ready to be engraved with your summer mantra. Each design moves with you, from beach days to golden nights and every memory in between. Shop Pandora Jewelry's new summer collection, in-store or online at pandora.net, and let your summer unfold.
At first, Gisèle and the defendants all asked for a closed hearing. But before the trial began, she changed her mind. So many people had shown her kindness that she no longer wanted to hide. She waived her right to anonymity and asked for the courtroom to be opened.
Giant chills.
I have chills too. It's like all the way down to my feet.
And it's because I was thinking when you were talking about like when the people were saying, oh, did she know about it? There's something that really bothers me. And the irony, I realized that we have a true crime podcast where we do indeed talk about people and they're not here to talk about it. But the sense of people talking about you and like making assumptions and thinking they know things, that really gets under my skin. And that's why I think we try to be really careful, unless it's Dominique, and then fuck him. I don't care what he thinks, but we try to be really careful about like, we don't know what the situation was and you know, we can't imagine, but to have the strength to decide I'm going to just put myself in that place and make this public is insane.
But I think this is on the largest scale an example of why women don't come forward. She didn't come forward. She didn't know this was happening to her. There is definitive videographic and scientific proof to show that she was being drugged and raped by her husband and other men, and people are like, she knew.
Literally, there's still victim blaming.
Yes. Yep. It's awful.
Did you want to put a trigger warning on this case, by the way? I know we're just about done. Feels like maybe we should have had
I just feel like at this point, if you're listening to our podcast, like it's bad news. So
that's true.
You know? Yeah. So when she wanted the courtroom open, the defendants objected, obviously, because they didn't want their names out there.
Sure.
And actually the prosecutor resisted too. And I think that it might be easier in a closed courtroom, like, cause there's less, there's less to consider. But the choice belonged to the victim alone.
Hell yeah.
And the court sided with her. They opened the courtroom. The decision did come with a cost to Gisèle. Her lawyers told her that she had to watch all of the videos beforehand so that nothing could blindside her in court.
Okay, that's fair, though, because if she was going to have to watch it anyway.
Right.
At least,
and you don't want her reacting and seeing it for the first time
but
in
that's,
court.
I can't, that's, I can't, I'm speechless.
First of all, so take yourself completely out of it. Can you imagine getting on a phone call with your lawyer and effectively watching porn for like 3 hours?
Right. And disturbing.
Yeah.
porn.
I can't even fathom that.
No, let alone it's you.
Yeah. Videos. Just crazy. She had avoided the videos until then, but she sat in her study and her lawyer was on the other side and pulled them up and she watched them one by one. But on the opening day of trial, she went in and she said, "I have nothing to be ashamed of. Shame must change sides."
Oh, wait. Why did I hear that quote before?
Because the book is called A Hymn to Life. Shame must change sides. But it's so true.
I was not trying to make a joke there.
Yeah.
It was similar. We were Amy's case, right?
Yes.
Was similar. It was not the same quote, but it was a similar sentiment.
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yes.
Okay.
That like, there's this stigma about talking about sexual assault, and we don't say the victims' names because you're protecting them. And obviously like we all know what sex assault would involve just generally. It's very private.
Yes.
Of
course.
But it's so true. Like these women, they're victims. They have nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
Like that was done to them.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Good for her.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
She was 71 years old and she walked in with her head held high.
Hell yeah.
The trial opened on September 2nd, 2024 in Avignon. More than 150 journalists were accredited and activists were already calling it a watershed moment for women's rights in France.
Good for her.
Dominique Pelicot and 50 co-defendants face charges of aggravated rape and sexual assault. A 51st man, Jean-Pierre Maréchal, had drugged and raped his own wife with Dominique's help. That's the one that I mentioned.
Oh, sure. Yep.
The defendants ranged in age from 26 to 74.
And also just the very fact that you have that many co-defendants, it's like evidence in and of itself.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah. They were firefighters, truck drivers, soldiers, security guards, a journalist, a DJ. Most were employed. Most were fathers.
Oh.
Fewer than half had any prior record.
Wow.
And almost all of them came from about 50 kilometers of Mazan. So neighbors, basically.
Wow.
Most of them contested the rape charge.
Okay.
Yep. Some argued that a husband's consent was enough on its own. Imagine making that argument in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, excuse me? Others said Dominique had tricked them, that she'd only been pretending to sleep. One man even claimed that she'd been awake and made an inviting gesture to him at the time. He said he wanted to confront her about it face to face. But the videos called bullshit.
I was just going to say that. There's all of it. Literally videos.
Yep. On the footage, the men could be seen working carefully around her unconscious body, keeping quiet, taking care not to wake her. They weren't confused about her state.
No.
There was a clip where she could be heard speaking.
Oh.
So they were like, she was awake. She's in on this. Like, she knows it. And she did watch it, and it was her. But it turned out that he had drugged her. And the drugs had started kicking in. So like she wasn't with it, but she was still conscious. And Dominique started sodomizing her before she was fully unconscious. And you can hear her saying, "Stop, that hurts."
Oh my God.
So that backfired on them because that's still rape.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh.
On September 5th, Gisèle testified for nearly 90 minutes. The years of mysterious illness, the afternoon at the police station, the collapse of everything she thought her life had been. Her daughter and 2 sons watched from the gallery. Oh. Dominique took the stand that September. Walking with a cane, he lowered himself into a blue armchair and told the court he was a rapist, like the others in the room. That they had all known exactly what they were doing and that she hadn't deserved any of it. It was the most he ever gave her.
Yeah, I'm hesitating with how to react to that because on the one hand, I'm glad he's not like denying it or whatever, but I almost get like I feel like I'm placing thoughts on him, but like that he would want us to be like, "Oh, that's so good of him."
Right.
But like you don't get any of that.
Right. It's the least you could do, and it's not enough.
Yeah. That's why I don't know how to react to that because I don't know what else. I just want him to not have ever done anything in the first place would actually be the answer. But
it's neutral. Like, it doesn't make him any worse, because if he denied it, you're like, fuck you.
Right.
But
so
he admits
there's
to
nothing
it, but
that can make it better.
it doesn't impact.
Yeah,
yes,
you're right.
It's just it's too late.
Yep.
A court-appointed psychiatrist, Dr. Paul Ben Sussin, described a man almost entirely without empathy. A narcissist who developed nearly every sexual paraphilia there is, including condylism, which is arousal from watching or displaying his own partner with other people.
Gross.
His personality, the doctor said, was so split that genuine self-reflection would likely always be beyond him.
That makes sense. It also makes sense why he could truly do all of those heinous things and then be the husband that she thought he was.
Right.
Because he really, like, it probably was genuine when he was caring for her and doing all that.
Right.
And so no wonder she didn't know.
And it was like a split. Like, he did love her and he cared for her, but he also was the sickest fuck that has ever existed.
And it's true that it is without empathy, because how could you ever do that to another human?
No.
How could you allow that for to happen to another human? Jeez.
And though, he felt guilty, because when she was like, "Are you drugging me?" and he burst into tears, like, that's, he's reacting to it.
Yeah.
By the way, this is an aside for a little bit of levity. When I was dealing with sexual assault cases in criminal appeals, one of the experts we used had an accent, and he would call it paraphilias. And I was like, those sound cool. I think I want one.
Yeah,
maybe
phrase that differently.
I know. Well, but you know what I mean. It was
I
just
know.
like, when we would listen to it, we're like, that's funny. I want one. But
Yes.
anyways,
I got you.
So that's what I think of. So there you go. Then there was the other family in the room. Madame Marichal testified that her husband and Dominique had drugged and raped her around 10 times. Her husband's own family took the stand to describe his childhood, how as a boy he'd been forced to watch his father and other men rape his mother, tied to a tree and beaten, made to perform sex acts on his father to protect his sisters.
Yikes.
Yeah, a second household destroyed in its own way, orbiting the same man.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? It's so crazy to me how I feel like in sex assault cases, like 95% of the time, there's something in childhood. And
Absolutely.
I think those like neural connections that happen when that happens that early, it's like it
breaks
sets
something.
Yes, it sets a train on the tracks that you just cannot
Absolutely.
get by.
Yep.
That could have ended more
You're in
eloquently.
a tunnel and the train's coming.
It hits a wall
Yeah.
and it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's all bad.
It's very bad.
Gisèle was called back to the stand on October 23rd, more emboldened to tell her story after sitting through the testimony of the men who'd raped her.
Sure.
And she was never alone out there. Every day, crowds waited outside the courthouse. Banners went up. One read simply, "Gisèle, women, thank you."
Well, I'm glad to hear they changed their fucking mind.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you still had people that would question it, because people suck.
Yeah. Yes.
She was in that courtroom every single day.
Wow.
On December 19th, 2024, the court in Avignon delivered its verdicts. 47 of the men were found guilty of rape, 2 of attempted rape, 2 of sexual assault. All 51 defendants were convicted of at least 1 charge.
Hell yeah. Again, goosebumps.
Dominique got the maximum, 20 years.
That's
rest,
it?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
I guess he's what,
He'll die in
75
there.
at
Yeah,
that point.
he'll
so
die in prison.
Fine, but
Yeah.
still, it's like, come on.
Yeah. The rest received sentences ranging from 3 to 15 years. Gisèle spoke to the press afterward. She said she'd never regret opening the trial to the public because she wanted society to see what was really happening behind closed doors.
And it gives her control, like beyond all of the wonderful messages she has, it also gives her something she can control. Like they don't want it. You don't want to be exposed. Well, she didn't want to be exposed to
like,
50 something men.
Fuck you.
Yeah. So good for her.
I love that choice.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's just Europe. At least in Connecticut, you can protect the victim, but the defendant's name is public. Like as a defendant, your name is not protected.
Oh, good.
So, as terrible as all of this was, I don't even think that's the right way to say it. But something good did come out of Gisèle's nightmare. In October 2025, the French Parliament fast-tracked a landmark bill rewriting the country's legal definition of rape and sexual assault.
Really?
In the Senate, the vote was 327 to nothing.
Oh, geez.
The new law states that any non-consensual sexual act is sexual assault, and that consent has to be informed, specific, prior, and revocable.
Okay. Yep.
Before this, France didn't have any consent-based definition of rape.
We do, right? Because that sounds pretty familiar in how you're defined. I mean, I don't know what the law is, obviously, but it sounds pretty familiar with all of those requirements that you can always pull consent. You can, you don't, once you say yes, it's not yes forever.
Correct.
Like those kinds of things. So,
Absolutely. Yep.
Interesting. Wow. So thank God that's gone through.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and Sweden, Germany, Spain, and the UK, and more than a dozen other European countries had these statutes, and France did not, even though they were one of the founding nations of modern civil rights.
Yeah, weird.
They'd actually blocked a consent-based definition from a European directive as recently as 2023.
Weird.
So I'm not sure what the reasoning was, but... and for all I know, it could be that it was like written as a rider onto some other
Which
horrible
always
bill.
freaking happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But Gisèle's experience was the spark that France needed for real change.
Good.
Gisèle was named to the 2025 Time 100 list of the world's most influential people. And she's been awarded the Légion d'honneur, France's highest civic honor.
Good.
She also found love again, a widower named, I think it's Jean-Loup. L-O-U-P.
Sure.
Jean-Loup.
Yeah.
A man she talks about as rare and gentle with a beautiful soul.
Oh.
They met on an evening in June after being set up by well-meaning friends.
Oh.
Jean-Loup's wife had been diagnosed with an incurable degenerative condition, and he took care of her as long as he could until it impacted his own health. She had passed away just 6 months before Gisèle met him.
Oh.
He knew what happened to Gisèle from the newspaper, which helped in her not having to tell him all the details.
Right.
They started a slow and easy relationship. Jean-Loup also had a bulldog, and they took them for walks together.
I love that.
They cooked together, ride bikes, and they danced to ABBA in the kitchen.
I love that. And I also, like, not to be judging, but like, I just think I would have not made the assumption. I would have made the assumption that she wouldn't have. I don't think she was looking.
Right.
But I think, again, if she were 20 and this all happened, I think you'd probably expect her to look for someone. But I just kind of didn't think that she would find anyone. It didn't even occur to me, I guess, is a better way to say it. So that's so lovely.
I know. And you know what? I do. Obviously, I, edited out part of her book, but I actually do recommend for anybody that's interested in the case to read her book, A Hymn to Life, because it's
also,
just,
what a beautiful title. Like hearing now the whole story.
Right.
And hearing that title.
Right. Shame has to change sides.
Wow.
Yeah. I just think it's just incredible the way she processed it. I feel like there were points in the book where she was like, I could have lost myself here, but I chose not to cry and lose it in front of my kids. Like, I chose not to do it this way. I chose to see it this way. Like, just unbelievable that people can process things like that. It just was amazing. 17 of the convicted men appealed, and Gisèle had to show up to the appeal proceedings too. One of the men who appealed his 9-year sentence walked away with a 10-year sentence.
I didn't know that could happen.
Fuck
I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
I don't know if that can happen in the US, but either way, I love it.
I do. Yeah.
Fuck you. So Gisèle is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Dominique is the biggest piece of shit. And that is the story of Gisèle Pelicot and the nightmare that she endured.
I was unprepared entirely for what that case was.
Which I love that you have ADHD and a horrendous memory as well. Because when I started writing this case, I think like a week ago, I was like, oh, I found this case. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to tell you about it because, I want you to react.
Hysterical.
And I was like, oh, you're not going to listen anyways. And I basically like told you. I was like, the husband like raped his wife with all these other men.
You remember
it
that now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Your memory
really
is as
funny.
bad as mine.
It's as you said, it's a colander.
Yep. Sure is.
Wow.
So, so thank you so much for Scarlett M. Peterson for suggesting that.
Incredible. And thank you to Gisèle for sharing your story.
I know.
Because we wouldn't be talking about it or hearing about it without that.
But I love that too, because you would, but it would be one-sided. It's
true.
just what the media reported.
True.
Because of this book and the interviews she's done and everything, it just ends up having like such a positive spin on it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, as always, nicely told.
Thank you. Before we end, though, I think we have the palate cleanser we all need.
Oh,
and it's God. Patreon shout out.
Do you know how many times every time you would say only in the morning, or you would say the whistles go woo, and I would literally talk to myself and be like, only in the morning.
Oh, and I think this is perfect timing because I think baby Gremlin is going to give some shout outs too and wake up and she's like, I'm done.
She's like moving around. She's doing great.
Okay, so first up we have Lauren B.
Lauren B.
We love you so much.
We
You are
love
the
you.
best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren B. We have Alligator. Alligator. We love you so much. I
Thank
love
you
that
so
name.
much. Me too.
Alligator.
That's cute.
Alexi H. Alexi, we love you so much.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
You are the best. Oh, woo, woo. I work with an Alexi. Tanya P.
Tanya,
we love you so
Tanya.
much. You are
Thank
the best.
you so much, Tanya.
Yodelay.
We love you.
Tanya P, you're the best. Julie W. Julie W. Thank you so much.
We love you.
You're the best.
Thank you, Julie.
I like how we just started going up and down. Like
I know.
That's just what we do.
I feel like I'm really on it because I really have been doing the opposite of you and making it feel really full and surround sound. So
Julie W, we love you so much.
We love you.
Okay. It's Yarell. Yarell?
Yarell?
It's Yarell or Yarell. I feel like it's probably Yarell. That feels right. Yarell S. We love you.
Or
so.
Y Errol.
I don't think it's that. We love you so much, Yarell, Yarell, Y Errol. It's not.
Like
it's Yarell. It's gotta be Yarell.
That's pretty.
We love you so much,
you.
Yarell S. You are the best. And if we pronounce it wrong, I say this all the time.
You can't be new here.
If we pronounce it wrong and you're like horrendously offended, you can message us and we'll redo it. Yeah. We will do that.
Oh yeah, we've done that.
We have, yes. Yeah. And I don't think they asked it though. I think people laugh at our bad pronunciations.
Thank God.
But we will. Yeah, we love you guys. We love you so much.
I love you.
Our Patrons get us. Sarah Joe, we love you so much. Sarah Joe, you are the best. Thank you so much. John S. John S.
John. I know how to pronounce that one.
Johns, we love you so much.
You.
Actually, I think it's John. It's John.
It's actually Yawn.
Oh my God, it could be Jan. Just kidding. It's John. John S. He's like, no, it really is Jan. We love you so much, John S. Thank you. You are the best. And Ella M. Ella.
Oh, I went one short.
Sorry.
Damn it.
It was close. It was almost there.
Almost.
Ella,
we love you.
We want to be under your umbrella, Ella. Ella M. A. We love you so much. Thank you. You are the best.
Thank you.
Y'all are the best. You know we love you so much. And we love our Patreon shout outs because they make us feel better after our sad stories. Although this one, I mean, it was really fucked up and horrendous.
Traumatic,
but like
there's
light.
Yeah. And I was thinking when you said that, she sounds like someone whose book I want to read.
Yes, like I think you would genuinely enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So if you're enjoying listening to Grimm, please rate and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts to make sure you don't miss any episodes. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, make our day by leaving us a written review. If you listen to us on Spotify, make our day and leave a nice comment. You can find our page on Facebook by searching Grimm: a True Crime Podcast. If you want to subscribe to our Patreon, you can go to Patreon and search Grimm: a True Crime Podcast. We would love to mispronounce your name. If subscriptions aren't your thing, that's cool. You can buy us a coffee /Celsius /wine /spiked seltzer /anything with caffeine. Buy me
alcohol.
We don't discriminate against beverages. Buymeacoffee.com/Grimm Crime Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Grimm Crime Podcast for information on future episodes and case photos, which I swear we will get up to date at some point.
I forgot about. I mean, I was busy.
We might be like 10 episodes behind, but I'm not
really
positive.
Busy.
We love you guys so much. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
If you want to send us a case suggestion like Scarlett M. Peterson or just say hi, you can email us at grimmcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Listen, learn, and stay alive until next time because the future is grim.